Tupac was one of the most influential rappers in the entire industry, releasing hit songs like California Love and Changes. He would ultimately sell over 75 million records. This landed his net worth well over $30 million by the time that he sadly passed, as throughout his entire life, Tupac would spend the money however he wanted. From buying multiple mansions to high-end vehicles and unique jewelry, Tupac definitely lived a dream life. Starting out with Tupac's $1 million car collection, he would first go on to purchase a 1995 Jaguar XJS for $50,000, and mind you, 50 grand 25 years ago is a lot of money. This originally appeared in his music video titled To Live in LA. The 6-cylinder blacked out Jaguar was powerful for its time, and it served as just one of Tupac's frequent rides. In the exact same music video, he also purchased another classic vehicle. This would be none other than the yellow 1961 Chevrolet Impala. He would purchase this for $30,000 just for this one music video. Now, adding further into his collection, Tupac would also go on to purchase a Mercedes 500 SL. This would be around $60,000, once again being a convertible that he loved riding around in, as he would even go on to mention the Benz in his song titled Picture Me Rolling, as he would rap the lyrics, "Picture me rolling in my 500 Benz."
Y'all got to back off my... Back off my... Yeah, I'm about to run... Back off my...
Although getting into the SUVs that he has purchased, his first would be a Jeep Cherokee for his 21st birthday. Although this wasn't interesting enough for Tupac, he would later go on to exchange it, and he would put up another $50,000 on top for this white classic Range Rover. Yet the classic Range Rover never ended up staying in his garage for too long. His friend Hussein would end up borrowing this Range Rover from Tupac without his permission, and he ended up totaling the vehicle not too long after. This situation would end up ruining their entire friendship. They would never speak to each other from this point on. The following week, after the Range Rover was totaled, he would be in need of a replacement. He would go on to purchase an $80,000 1996 Hummer H1. He would get it customized, completely blacked out. The Hummer would caught your eye if you saw it in public, just by how beautiful it was. This exact Hummer was then also featured in his California Love music video, and sadly it was resold in 2016 for over $300,000, and we haven't heard from it since.
An anonymous bidder just spent a small fortune for the late Tupac Shakur's vehicle. The rapper's customized Hummer sold for just over $337,000. The Hummer H1 was personally customized by Tupac himself.
However, this is nothing compared to Tupac Shakur's favorite vehicle that he ever owned. He would go on to reveal his Rolls-Royce Corniche, as Rolls-Royce has built itself up to be one of the most comfortable and luxurious car companies in the entire world. When Tupac owned his, he would be often seen cruising it around the West Coast in public with the entire top down. He would drive this vehicle everywhere, and it was his main ride.
Tupac, what car you going?
I got the song coming out. When Tights come out.
Okay, all right. Security gonna do.
Despite it being Tupac's favorite vehicle ever, after his passing, it would come out that it actually wasn't even owned by him. Instead, the registration for the vehicle was under Suge Knight's name, meaning that Tupac's mother was never actually able to claim it after he sadly passed. His mother would even say during an interview, and I quote, "I discovered that the Rolls Royce that he was so proud of and that he loved so much was not even his. And since they were not his, I didn't want any part of it." But moving on from Tupac's vehicles, he also had a huge passion for jewelry. The most iconic piece from his collection was his crown ring. This costed him over $100,000 to be created, which $100,000 at the time was a ton of money. This beautiful ring has a gold base. Tupac would then add the shape of a crown and put rubies and diamonds all throughout the entire thing. Even on the band of the ring, it features a quote, "Tupac in Dada 1996 inscription," which references his relationship with his at the time girlfriend Key Dada Jones. Ever since his sad passing, the cost of the ring has increased heavily, because in 2023 the crown ring ended up going up for auction. It was only speculated to be sold for around $300,000, but when Drake got into the mix of the bidding war, he ended up purchasing this beautiful ring for $1.01 million, which obviously left Kendrick Lamar extremely angry. This also ended up officially marketing as the most valuable hip-hop artifact ever sold at an auction. Now, another piece of Tupac's collection is his gold gold and diamond pendant, featuring a crown symbol on the front of it with diamonds and surrounding the piece with even more. The pendant only costed Tupac $20,000 way back in the day, but when it got dented from an altercation with his ops in New York City in 1994, it ended up becoming just that much more unique. Just like many other things that Tupac owned, it was listed at an auction house. That chain ended up selling for $125,000, but next up was the gold glasses that he would wear often. These beautiful glasses were made of 24 karat gold. They costed Tupac $15,000 to be commissioned, but right now it is unknown where they currently are. But it's last documented that Gucci Mane ended up getting them gifted to him in Christmas of 2018.
Now, Betty said she got me these glasses, that vintage that Tupac actually wore.
Turn them around.
Baby, these Tupac actual glasses, put them on his face.
And they gold.
They hard.
Almost all of his possessions became more expensive after he passed. Even the famous nose ring that he would wear for the cover of his All Eyez On Me album ended up selling at a private auction for over $20,000. But if you knew Tupac, you would know that he loved rings. Tupac Shakur owned over 30 diamond rings. He would rotate all of the rings that he would wear out in public just because he had that many. And when it came to his watch game, his favorite in particular was Rolex, because he would go on to purchase a Rolex Day-Date with a green dial and a diamond bezel circling the watch. He would end up revealing in an interview it's his favorite piece of jewelry that he owned. This random $20,000 for the piece, and he loved it so much that he would end up buying a second Day-Date, this time fully icing out the watch and having a blue dial. But if you own two things you love, why not purchase a third? Tupac Shakur would go on to purchase his third Rolex Day-Date until ultimately changing it up, purchasing a base Rolex Submariner with a black dial. He would also go on to finish his Rolex collection, purchasing a Datejust with an ice blue dial. In Rolexes alone, Tupac spent well over $150,000.
They sell records, we sell records. Well, I guess you could call that selling records. We sell large amounts of records, and they sell a few records.
Now, getting into the Tupac mansion, after he got released from lockup in 1995, he would end up moving out to Calabasas, California. He went on to purchase a 6,000 square foot, 6-bedroom home in Woodland Hills. The home costed a total of $1.3 million. However, during 1995 and 96, he was only renting the home, and then he planned to purchase it outright the following year. But he ended up never getting to purchase it due to his passing. However, it is worth noting that he did purchase a house out in Atlanta, Georgia for his entire family and friends back in 1993. He saw all of the success that he was having with music, and he decided it would be best to look out for those close to him and have them be able to live somewhere where they are safe and protected. Even after Tupac sadly passed, his mother took over the Tupac estate. She would go on to manage the entire business and all of the financials that came with it. Due to the success of her son's music career, she was able to purchase a massive 12,000 square foot mansion, helping her secure a beautiful and luxurious home for herself and family. However, there is one more car in his collection, and it is the most recognized of them all. This would be the well-known blacked out 1996 BMW 750. Tupac Shakur initially purchased this car for $40,000 and would frequently drive it all around the streets, but it became widely known for being the ride that Tupac sadly was targeted in while he was driving with Suge Knight in downtown Vegas. As on the night of September 7th, 1996, Tupac and Suge Knight were heading over to the MGM Grand to watch a Mike Tyson match. Everything during the match was fine, but when they headed into the lobby, Tupac and Suge Knight ended up spotting their ops chilling in the lobby.
Suge Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson at the MGM Grand. Keefy D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and two of their friends were also there. Keefy D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and beat him up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
Security would quickly break up the altercation. Both Tupac and Suge would head back to their hotel to change and get ready for a night at Suge Knight's club, 662. As around 11 p.m., the two would hop into the famous BMW, and not too long after, driving down in the middle of the street in Las Vegas, they would be targeted by ops.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keef D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
With all of the history behind this beautiful ride, the value continues to increase till this day. The current owners have hosted it for $1.75 million, making it possibly the most documented and the most famous pieces of the hip-hop industry. However, after nearly 20 years of the crime being unsolved, the police finally arrested a man named Keefe D. that is responsible for the crime of Tupac Shakur's passing, as he would go on to mention that he noticed Tupac because of the BMW.
For 27 years, the family of Tupac Shakur has been waiting for justice. We are here today to announce the arrest of 60-year-old Dwayne Keith Davis, aka Keefe D, of Tupac Shakur. Davis was arrested this morning by my LVMPD criminal apprehension team, and this investigation started on the night of September 7th, 1996. It has taken countless hours, really decades, of work by the men and women of our section to get to where we are today.